Alright, let's do this. Welcome to the Big Screen Berkan podcast, you guys. Episode 2, we're talking Beetlejuice. I'm answering some more questions, and that's pretty much all I got for you guys today. Nothing too crazy is happening. Next week's going to be pretty insane for me. The week after that's going to be pretty insane. Preview that for you guys. But first, I want to say this really quickly. I want to give you guys a chance to kind of get to know how I show my love for people. Most people have love languages like quality time, physical touch, gifts, a servant's heart, all those things. Mine's kind of a mixture of quality time, because if I'm spending a lot of time with you, obviously that means I love you. But my biggest sign that you are in my circle is if I take you to the movies with me. Going to the movies is such a love language for me. First of all, I think there's a lot of peace in going to movies by yourself. I love doing that 1000%. However, like I said, if I am taking you to the movies, that means you have a special, special place in my heart. If movie tickets drop and I, without hesitation, buy you a movie ticket, you know you have my love forever. I mean, seriously, every time a new Marvel film comes out, a Disney movie, a movie that I'm just excited about in general, as soon as tickets release, I'm always buying a ticket for myself, for Michael, for Allison, and depending on if my dad's in town, I'll buy a ticket for my dad, my brother-in-law, everybody. I am buying movie tickets for the people that I love, and I'm sharing that experience with you. That is my version of quality time. Speaking of going to movies, when Beetlejuice tickets dropped, I instantly bought a ticket for myself, for Michael, and Allison. We all got to go see it. We went to the early access screening that Cinemark was doing, so it was the day before the movie released. I felt really, really bad because Allison and Michael had an absolute blast with the movie. They loved it. They thought it was hilarious. They can't wait to go see it again. Michael hadn't even seen Beetlejuice before, and he thought it was awesome, which I was glad he had a great time. For me, I kind of felt like, oh, am I the bad person who didn't really think this movie was all that great? Like, don't get me wrong. As a sequel for Beetlejuice, it felt appropriate. It felt like it was a natural fit with that franchise. The characters felt like genuine continuations of the characters from the original film. The storyline felt genuine. Nothing really felt forced. The practical effects were amazing, and yet they still somehow felt like they could have been vintage in ways. It wasn't overbearing. They didn't overuse CGI. It felt like a good use of practical effects. I was really impressed with how the film was made and how it kept to the integrity of Beetlejuice. But as a movie itself, I didn't really think it was all that funny. The story is kind of a mess. They don't really end plot lines very well. It just kind of was like anticlimactic. I mean, there'd be this big bad villain in the film. I can't remember her name now, of course. But the big bad villain was just kind of like, snap and it's done. There's another character who was supposed to be a bad guy for Jenna Ortega's character, and he was also just kind of done. They just didn't really do a good job wrapping up storylines, in my opinion. Which was a little bit disappointing. And honestly, I feel like Beetlejuice isn't far enough. Like, it just feels like Beetlejuice is held back so much. And part of that is because you go see the Broadway adaptation of Beetlejuice, and Beetlejuice is all over the freaking place, just unhinged completely, and it's awesome. It's why that musical is so, so great. It's because Beetlejuice has all this freedom to cause chaos, and in the movie, he doesn't really have that, and it's just kind of womp womp. But again, as a sequel to Beetlejuice, I think it's great. Admittedly, I'm not the biggest fan of the original movie. I saw it for the first time a couple weeks ago, and I was just kind of like, this isn't that great. Because again, I saw the musical first. The musical is incredible. It's a great story. It's different than the original. It's kind of a mix of the original film and the second movie in some ways, actually. But I just, again, wasn't really all that impressed with my viewing of the original film a couple weeks ago. I thought it had some funny moments. It just didn't really resonate with me. I wasn't really in this whole cult bubble that the movie seems to have. But if you are in that bubble, if you do love the original film, I think you're going to have a blast with this. I don't want that to be misconstrued. If you love the original Beetlejuice film, I think you're going to love Beetlejuice Beetlejuice. It just wasn't really for me. It could have been. It really could have been. There's just a couple things I wish they kind of fixed, and it would have made a huge difference. I put the movie at like a 6 out of 10, so it's not a bad movie. It was not bad. It still had some funny moments. I don't think I'm as high on it as the rest of the group of people who seem to have seen Beetlejuice are. Because I've been seeing like 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10. I've been seeing people who really, really genuinely loved the sequel. I'm just not one of them. And that's okay, honestly. It really is. Now, a movie that I'm very excited to see this weekend, Transformers 1. Paramount has a screening in my area, so Michael and I are going to go see it. They invited us to come check it out, which I'm incredibly grateful for. It's the first time I'm really like seeing movies in advance by invitation. Beetlejuice wasn't an invitation. I bought a ticket and I went to go see it. So I did it for the first time last month not last month, I guess the month before in July with SpongeBob, with the Sandy Cheeks movie that's on Netflix. That was really cool. That was a really great experience. So I'm excited to go check out Transformers 1 this weekend. I really wasn't all that high on the film initially when trailers dropped. It has an incredible cast. Chris Hemsworth, Scarlett Johansson, just everybody is so phenomenal in that film. Or at least the actors are phenomenal outside of that film. So I am excited to see what they bring to the Transformers franchise. But again, I wasn't really that high until I heard of all the great things people have been saying that have seen the movie. Paramount, very confident in this movie. They were showing this movie to people like a month and a half ago. People are very, very high on Transformers 1, calling it maybe the best in the Transformers franchise, which is absolutely crazy for me to think about. I mean, Michael Bay Transformers movies are iconic in my eyes. So I definitely have some excitement going into the weekend, getting ready to see the movie. It should be a good time. I love animated films in general, too. I always think that they have the biggest potential to surprise us. And just because they're kind of unlimited in things they can pull off on the screen. So it should be a really great format for a Transformers film. We'll see. We'll see. Again, I also heard that those phenomenal actors are once again phenomenal in the roles that they have in Transformers 1. So you guys will see it first. If you're following us on Big Screen Berkan and Starlog, you will see our review on Saturday. So we'll let you guys know what we think. I will talk about it on this podcast for sure. And then on Monday is going to be an absolutely insane day for me because Monday I am going to wake up at like 4 in the morning here in Texas. I'm going to get on a plane and I'm going to land in Los Angeles at like 7 in the morning. And then that day I'm going to the Agatha premiere, the brand new Agatha Coven of Chaos Marvel show coming to Disney Plus September 18th. I get to see the first 2 episodes, I believe, on Monday for that premiere. I am so excited. I cannot believe I'm attending. I've never done anything like that before. This is going to be a first for me, and the fact that it's with Disney and Marvel is just so meaningful for me. I am so incredibly excited. But that's going to be a crazy day. Like I said, I'm flying into LA. I'm going to the event, and then I'm flying home at like 1 in the morning. My flight's at 1 a.m. Pray for me. pray for me. In my sleep, there won't be any sleep. And then, listen, I have a job. The content creation, this podcast, it's not my job. It's not my full-time job. I do it full-time, but it's not my only full-time job. So I'm going to be back at work again Tuesday. I'm literally going to land in Dallas at like 6 in the morning, and then I'm going to hop in an Uber, and I'm going to go straight to work. Our office has like showers and stuff, so you can kind of like work out and freshen up if you need to. So my plan is this Friday I'm going to leave a bag of like clothes and like shampoo and all that at my desk at work. And then Monday when I come in straight from the airport, I'm going to go shower and change and be fresh and ready to go for the day. So it's going to be absolutely insane. The grind it takes for content creators to kind of make it and get going is absolutely insane. I don't think people realize how hard it is sometimes. It's not just, hey, I'm going to film and get my reaction and then it's going to be done. It's going to be easy. No, that's just only the part that you see. There's a lot that goes into it. There's a lot of logistics and a lot of planning and a lot of sacrifice. Because also with these like premieres, like no one's paying for me to go. I'm doing it out of my own pocket to go create content. Obviously, I'm excited to go experience it. It's going to be an experience for myself that I'm going to cherish forever, 100%. But it's also something that I'm paying to go do. I'm hoping to earn it back with the content I create, but that is I guess is a risk that comes with it. So there's a lot of factors to content creation that truly makes it a grind like no other, and it definitely makes you tired. I am always tired 24/7. But again, it's going to be worth it. I'm genuinely so excited for Agatha Coven of Chaos. I saw a glimpse of it at D23 when the whole cast came on stage and they performed after showing us a crazy intense trailer, and they performed a song from the show, and it gave me just the chilliest of chills. I really think it's going to surprise people, and I've been on record saying, listen, if you're going to cut a show in development for the MCU, cut Agatha. I don't understand why we need it. Like, it was a great character in WandaVision, but is it really going to progress the story? I take all that back. They filmed it, they stuck with it, and I think it's going to be a huge hit. So I am so looking forward to that. Now, something I always want to do with this podcast is I want to end every episode with questions that you guys submit. So if you guys follow me at Big Screen Berkan, before I film, there's always opportunities to send me a message and ask me a question. Sometimes those questions will get picked and presented in this podcast, so I'm going to do that. So honest opinions of Star Wars Outlaws. So Star Wars Outlaws, Ubisoft gave me an advanced copy. They let me play 4 hours of the game in July, and then they gave me a copy to play a week before it was released to the public. I thought Star Wars Outlaws was fantastic. I mean, it doesn't reinvent anything. You know, it's the same kind of mechanics and game styles you've seen since like 2012, but as a story in the Star Wars universe, I think it's actually really strong. There's a lot of really cool surprises. I had a blast playing it, and I think general Star Wars fans will as well. I don't really see reasons for you not to like Star Wars Outlaws. The only reason I think people are not enjoying it are because they're lying and just saying they're not enjoying it when they haven't actually played it. So Star Wars Outlaws, I think, is actually a really good game. I'd give it a 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. It's not better than the Survivor games, which to me are strong 9 out of 10s, but it is definitely worthy 100%. What would you have done to improve Morbius and Madam Web? Let me look into the camera and tell you right now, there is nothing you can do to make Morbius and Madam Web better without Spider-Man. Put Spider-Man in it, it would be significantly better. If you didn't change the script at all, if you didn't change the script whatsoever, the only difference is Spider-Man is in that movie for like 5-10 minutes. I guarantee you those movies go from like a 2 out of 10 to at least a 5 out of 10. I can't believe they even made those movies without Spider-Man, but it is what it is. Now, because there's no Spider-Man and the movies are what they are, I'm going to be honest with you guys, I don't think I would change anything. The only change I would make is adding Spider-Man. Other than that, I wouldn't change anything. Those movies are a blast as terrible films. They are phenomenal to watch as bad movies, so I'll leave it at that. I'll leave it as it is. Morbius and Madam Web, thank you for contributing to the Marvel meme community. Do you play Fortnite? If so, what are your opinions on the new Marvel season? I haven't played Fortnite in like a year. I played a lot from like 2019 to like 2022, and then I just kind of stopped. So I haven't really played this new Marvel season, but I will say the Thanos era of Fortnite is goated. I love that era of Fortnite for sure. If you could create a new Disney park, what would be in it? Here's my opinions on a new Disney park. First of all, we do not need a new Disney park. We don't need it at whatsoever. A lot of people have been complaining that, hey, we're getting all these new Disney attractions. Why did they add it to existing parks? Why not create a fifth park to compete with Universal's Epic Universe? Listen, let me paint this picture for you guys. If Disney made a fifth park, do you not understand how expensive that would be for you? I'm much happier them adding Monstropolis to Hollywood Studios and then me having to spend an extra 2 hours on Monstropolis. I'm much happier spending an extra couple hours in each park, Animal Kingdom, Magic Kingdom, Hollywood Studios, riding the new attractions, visiting the new lands than I would having to pay for a whole nother ticket for a whole nother day and then having to find out how to make an additional 8 hours work. 2 hours each day is much more manageable, and I don't have to pay for an additional ticket. So that's my thoughts on that. But if I were to add a new Disney park, I would want Olympus in there. Give me Hercules in the Disney parks, or even Percy Jackson in the Disney parks. I would want a new planet from Star Wars. I don't want a new planet, like an original planet. I want something from the actual established universe, like Endor. I think Endor would be so cool in the Animal Kingdom, or in a new park. I guess the question is, what would I add to a new park? Those are the two things I want. I want Greek mythology, and I want more Star Wars. That's what I want in a new Disney park, if I had to make one. What is your personal favorite Disney film? Okay, I think, so I love Pixar movies most, so I would guess Monsters, Inc., but I have a deep love for Lion King, Hercules, Treasure Planet, Toy Story, Aladdin. A lot of deep loves for those movies. It's hard to pick like a favorite outside of like Monsters, Inc., so I guess Monsters, Inc., but if I'm going like Walt Disney animation, I'm going to say Hercules or Treasure Planet. It's tough to pick between the two. And that is episode 2 of my Big Screen Berkan podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in. Listen, we're not here for a long time, but we're here for a good time. I thank you guys so much. Again, be sure to follow on all platforms at Big Screen Berkan, and be sure to check out the Starlog podcast that Michael and I do together. That's a lot of fun. We've been doing it for a year now and just absolutely loving doing it together. So we really appreciate it if you go check it out. Michael and I have actually been invited to Fantastic Fest, a film festival in Austin. So we're going to be going to that together. So that's going to be really cool. So be sure to tune in. We got a lot of great content coming out. As Michael would say, it's all about the content. Content. That's a reference to one of the videos that we put out on Starlog, which you would know if you were following. Anyway, my name is Berkan. Thank you guys so much for all your support. I wouldn't be doing this podcast without it. I'll see you guys next time. Go movies!